Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome to Making Connections with Aly. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Listen, some places are expecting snow today. I hope we get a little around here, but I don't know. But listen, I appreciate y'all coming in. Y'all know we're Making Connections with Aly. We are here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Y'all saw those little flyers going by, those chocolate covered strawberries and things. Listen, I'm trying to promote some of these small business owners. So we're gonna have a couple of commercials that are promoting them, and then throughout the show I'll tell you about a few others because it's Black History Month, it's the Love Month, and it's Heart Health Awareness Month. So I think all that stuff comes together. So Miss Robin, how you doing today?
I am awesome. Awesome always. Thank you. And
Listen,
thank you for having me on your show again. This is my
abs-
second time being here.
so you home now. You just
That's right.
so another reason again, Robin is an author, a speaker. She's a dynamic coach. She is your happily ever after marriage coach. And so again, that has to do with the heart. It has to do with love. So we're bringing it all together. And she is a Black woman making Black history. Woo, woo. So, Robin, I do want to give you opportunity. Maybe somebody missed you the first time, so just introduce yourself a little, and we'll jump on into some more aspects of this interview.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I am Robin White, your happily ever after marriage coach. And I help Black women who don't feel loved and cherished anymore in their marriages bring the fire back to their marriages and get to the happily ever after they dreamed of when they said, I do.
Oh, see, I mean, when Robin says that, people that aren't even married, they be like, "I want that. I want my happily ever after."
And you can have it. It is
Listen,
not a fairy tale, it is real.
I was getting ready to say because a lot of times we hear that at the end of the movies, it ended happily ever after. They're doing well, da da da. But sometimes it's real life, and so we wonder, can we really have that in real life?
Absolutely.
And so I
Yeah.
was so glad to meet Robin because she gave me hope. I believe it can happen. And that's another reason I do the show because so many different people have come on. I've had health coaches and things like this, and they always say there are some things you might not be able to repair, get it back to its original state, but you can improve it. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So is that the same thing with marriages? Sometimes when they go awry, it may not be back to where when you first fell in love, but it definitely can be repaired and restored.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, maybe when you first fell in love, it was all, the stars and stars and hearts and songs, and you were jumping over the moon. After a while, love develops into a different thing. It's more secure. You're settled into it. So you may not be jumping over the moon with stars and whatnot, but you are totally connected to your spouse, and you just feel secure in it, safe in it, you can trust in it, you know, and be happy in it. That's the thing. Be happy in it and know that you're okay.
No. And that's what why I kind of went with that topic. What's love got to do with it? Is it just love that's going to keep us together? Is it just the fact that, you know, I love him, but, he's never home? I love him, or I love her, but she kind of goes over budget every month, So in marriages, you have those situations you have to deal with, right? So
For
is it
sure.
just love that gets us there, or what is it?
Well, I mean, okay. So what is love anyway, right? Because
Yeah.
there are different kinds of love, like the love between a parent and child, the love between, you know, I love everyone kind of um, spiritual, love
Right.
thy neighbor, right? And then there's romantic love, which is different. And it starts out as, you know, emotional, and that, and then love becomes an action
Mhm.
word. Love is a choice, right? And so, yeah, I know, it might be cliche by now, whatever. People say you got to choose to love your partner every day, but you do. You do. You choose it every day. And it might be at some point, it's the default choice because you're used to it. So it's the default, right? You
Gotcha.
just do it without even thinking about it. But at any rate, you're choosing that. And, scripture says, love covers a multitude of sins. So there are things like she spends over budget, he does, I don't know, whatever he might do.
Works 80 hours a week.
Right. Works too long, he's workaholic. And, but you love him. And so you are willing to work on it. You are willing to stay and work through the challenges so that you all can have that happily ever after. So, yeah, I think love is the thing that just keeps people there. Sometimes it keeps people there when, unfortunately, I mean, they shouldn't be there, right? Sometimes it keeps people stuck in a relationship that they shouldn't be in.
Right.
But the good thing is that it also keeps people there in the relationships that they should be in. They just need to know some skills and strategies to help them work through the challenges that they're having. And then, they can be happy in what they have.
So, in your work with, different couples and, maybe even individuals, because maybe the spouse wasn't ready to come to counseling, do you find it that a lot of times, in this season, we say people want everything like microwave, do you find that people want to quit more so than work at it? You know what I mean?
Well, in my work, I work with the individuals. Their husband, I mean, I work with women.
Okay.
And so their husband doesn't have to come. And that's the beautiful thing. He doesn't have to. You don't have to wait for your husband. You can come on your own
Mhm.
because you're working on yourself and through yourself. The only one you can change is you. So you have to work on yourself and what you're doing. And that will affect what's happening in the marriage because when you change how you show up, your husband can't help but respond to you differently because
Mhm.
you're doing something different,
Right.
right? And so that's number one. And the more self awareness you have, you'll be able to see how things that maybe you let them affect you in some kind of way. And so you responded in a negative way. And if you respond differently, you will get a different feedback, right?
Mhm.
So it's about how you can affect the things that happen, how you can change the things that you're doing to affect your um, marriage relationship. Because whatever you're doing, you're participating in the dysfunction. So you
Right.
have to recognize your part and change your part, and
Right.
then the whole thing can change.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a marriage coach, but that's one of the things I would tell. I have a couple friends that be going through some stuff, and I'm like, whether they go or not, you have to find a place where you're happy. You can't be miserable all your life because you can't make them change.
Right.
But hopefully, as you change, they start seeing you have fun and be happy and laughing, they'll remember that person that they met a long time ago and they used to laugh together. So I agree with you. It always ends up we have to take care of ourselves first,
Right.
right? We have to heal. We have to let go and forgive. Now, it's not an easy task.
It's not easy. I'll tell you that. It's not easy, but it is doable. It is
Right.
doable. And how willing are you to put in the work to have this relationship that you said you wanted for the rest of your life,
Hmm.
right? So did you really? Do you really want it? How willing are you to keep it healthy?
Right. Right. And I watched this. Do you ever watch Married at First Sight?
I did used to watch that. Yes.
Because I'm like, a lot of times at the end of those 8 weeks or whatever, it's not, some of them can't even say I love you yet because it's only been 8 weeks. I mean, we did get married the first time
Right.
we met. So they sometimes they're not saying I love you, but there's a lot of potential there. There's a
Yes.
lot of care, there's a lot of conversations that they've had that makes them say, I want to stay married at the end of
Right.
this 8 weeks.
Right. And I thought that show was really neat because I mean, if you think about it, over here in America, we don't do things that way, but other cultures do. That's their regular way of getting married. So
Yeah.
it's not really, you know, um, a new thing, right? So some cultures have that all the time, and love is it's not a surface thing. It's the underlying connection that draws you to another person. And so sometimes people say things like, you can't help who you love, because you're not necessarily choosing them from your mind, right? You're choosing them from a heart space and from a connection. It's like magnetic, and you may not even know what draws you to them. You might think that you like men that's tall, dark, and handsome, and then here comes this short guy, and maybe he's light skinned, like I don't know, but he's completely the opposite. You like, he is not my type, but something just draws you to him, right? And
Right.
then you're dealing with this guy and you get to know him better and all this, and then you find yourself falling in love. And people say falling in love, and I thought about that, because like falling, right? I don't want to fall, but I think when you fall in love, you initially step off that cliff, right? And then it's kind of fun, like you're falling, like you can't even catch yourself.
Right. You're
I
like,
think that's what that
what?
means. You can't even catch yourself because you're just, in it, and until you reach the ground, right? Until you get grounded in it, then you're falling. So I think that's what that means, falling in love. Because I was like, what is falling in love really? But I think that's it. You step off the cliff, you take a chance with it, and then you're in a free fall until you get grounded in it. And so I think that's kind of neat. And anyway, then there you are. And then that's when it becomes for you a choice and an
Mm,
action verb, right? Love is what you do, love is what you give and take in the relationship. And there's always got to be give and take, because or else you have a lopsided, situation, and you're gonna have resentment and anger and all this kind of things, frustration. And these are some of the things that the people that are my clients, the women that are my clients, that's what they're dealing with, right now. Frustration, they're burned out, marriage feels lopsided, and the the affection and the time, the quality time, that kind of thing that they were receiving before, they're not receiving it anymore.
mm,
Maybe their husband is a workaholic, or maybe they're the one that's the workaholic.
right.
Now, Allie, I work with Black women, and I work with them specifically because we have many of the same challenges that every woman has, in relationships, but we have a certain other set of challenges with this whole strong Black woman uh,
Mm.
thing, right? This mantle that
Yeah.
we carry. There is no other race of women that has to carry that. it's dehumanizing. It's, you know, we don't get to be vulnerable. And I don't want to say weak, because but we don't get to show our weakness, right? We
Right.
don't get to be soft in that. And I think that's unfair to us as a people.
Right.
As women, we are women. We're human like everybody else. Why do we have to always be strong? No matter what happens, we're going to get through it. We're going to find a way all the time. Why?
Right. Amen. Come on.
you know? I but I also think that we have to get to the place where we put our men back in their positions of leadership to lead the families, and that's so much of what I try to do in my work. I
Mhm.
want the family structure to be where it's what it's supposed to be. The men leading the household, the women as the helpmeet,
Right.
and if you have children, amen. If you don't, that's good too. But whatever. But let things be in the proper order. Allow each of you, husband and wife, to feel safe with each other, to feel vulnerable with each other, to be able to share anything under the sun. You should be able to share that with this person that you have chosen to share your life with, to become one. How
Mhm.
can you not be vulnerable with this person? You are connected for life. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And so many times that connection seems like it's lost. They don't know how to get back to it. It's like we used to have this strong connection. We used to talk all the time. We used to do all this. And then somehow, you know, slowly, it happens so slowly that you don't even see it happening. And then you wake up and you're, you know, all the way over here, 100 miles from where you were in the beginning.
Right.
And that's because it happens so slowly and it's undetectable at first. And by the time you see it, you're down the road.
Mhm.
So that's what I deal with a lot of times. That's what happens. Slowly the connection has withered away.
Yes, and I mean, all the scenarios you're given, I think about these two particular couples that I have in mind, and it's like you said, beginning I was like, I'm just not gonna talk to him today, and then it's like 2 years later, and it's like, we don't ever really talk. We just,
Right.
if I plan vacation, I take the kids. He can come if he wants to. You don't have to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you said, is that didn't happen overnight, but the more and the longer you get away from things, the longer you stop exercising, the harder it's going to be to go back to the gym. The longer
Right.
you stop doing something, stop going to church, the harder it is to take that step back in because, like, oh, what are people going to say? Da, 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 da. So it's the same thing with the marriage. Well, if I come on to them now, what if they reject me? So it's a lot
Hmm.
of stuff that happens in your mind and in your emotions that's taking place. But, love the fact that you keep saying you can get there
Yes.
if
You
you
just
just,
have to be willing to do it.
hmm
You just
hmm
have to be willing.
and I think getting back to what's love got to do it is that love that keeps you there. And in your heart of hearts, there's a hope that it will change
That's
because that's
right.
what they say at the end. I love him, but he just makes me so mad.
Right.
I'll be like, just go up to him and give him a big old kiss on the lips. They be like, no. I'm like, what? What do you mean, no? Just do it.
Yeah, because the person starts to become like a stranger to you, even though they're your husband is now sort of a stranger to you, and so you're like, well, I don't know, because if I say this to him, what's he gonna say?
Right.
How did it get to that point, right? And so that's just it. It got to that point, and now they're scared to do it. They want to say it, but the words get stuck in their throat, like it can't even come out. They want to, but they just can't, they freeze up, or you know they want to do something, but he used to like that, but I don't know if he's going to like that anymore, because you've forgotten who you were. And you said in the beginning, they want to get back to what it was. And you don't even necessarily have to get back to what it was, but get to a new place, because let's say you got married 5 years ago.
Right.
You are not who you were 5 years ago.
Right.
The essence of you is still there. The character, your character doesn't really change like that, right? So the essence of you is still there, but you have grown and developed in different ways. And your husband has also. And so you all may have grown together. You've grown individually, but you can also grow together, or you grow apart, right? And so if you have grown apart now, it feels weird trying to come back together. And so
Mhm.
sometimes you need just a little assistance, right, on the side, to sort of give you a push to do the things that you want to do, but you're just kind of scared to do it. You don't know how it's going to work out. And so you're scared to do it. And if you can have somebody there to be in your corner, right, when you do these things, then you feel better about doing it. And so, that's kind of what I do. I'm always there in your corner. I'm always rooting for you, rooting for the best outcome, and holding you accountable to the things that you say you want to do. Because if it's just you and you say you want to do it, and then you get scared, you don't do it, who knows about it, right?
Right.
Who
Right.
knows that you chickened out and then you don't do it?
Yeah. So I love that because you're right. You have a happily ever marriage coach who says, okay, it's okay you didn't do it this time, but let's try again. Let's put it back on the schedule. Okay, we're going to keep putting it on the schedule till we get
You're
it
right.
done. So we can mark this off and let's just do it. Let's just see what happens. And
Right.
then your happily ever marriage coach, like Robin White, is there even when it goes awry. I knew he wasn't going to respond the same way. He wasn't, he was like, what are you doing? Da, 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 da. You're still there to say, "Bro, when was the last time you kissed him? Remember, it's still a surprise for him too." So
Right.
I think, a lot of times it's good to have coaches like you on hand because you have to remind them as well, okay, this is another individual who hasn't been kissed by their wife in 5 years. It's a scary situation for them. They're like, well, what's going on? What are they expecting me to do? I don't even know what to do. You know,
Right.
you're taking them through that scenario.
Yeah. Because they forget that while you're over here feeling all these things, he's feeling something too. And he may not be feeling exactly what you're feeling, right? But he's feeling something. And so now, out of the blue, you come and you start to, be all affectionate with him. He doesn't know, like, what's your story? What you trying to do? So maybe you got to ease into it. Like, you warm him up first, because you're catching him off guard, and so he might reject you, but you don't want that to send you to the left. Now you're like, oh, I knew it wasn't going to work, just forget it, and we're going to throw in the towel. But without somebody over here in your corner,
Right.
that might be what you do. You might say, I knew it, never mind. you know
But
so
I think in marriages and things that are so really important to our lives, it's like you said. Well, I don't know who said it, but anyway, it's like in marriages, it's like we tried it one time and it don't work. We're just like, oh, da, 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 da. But again, we can go to our job. We're learning a new job. We don't get it right the first time. We go back to that job because there's a
right.
purpose in us being there. So
And you try it again.
exactly. Maybe we try it a different way. We change it up. We come to it in a different angle, like you said. But you go back and you keep trying. So,
Right.
you know, now let's keep it in perspective. We do have to, I have to say this from my heart. There are times, like Robin said before, where you're just not meant to stay.
Right.
So you have to know, is this a marriage worth saving? Is this a marriage where you're safe, where you're respected? Because we're not talking about those marriages where there's abuse, you know, because
I don't, in my practice, I don't deal with abuse. of any kind. If it's physical abuse, definitely I'm not dealing with that. But mental and emotional abuse, really abuse, I I don't I don't deal with that, and I refer those people, those women to, someone else who can help them, who's that's their thing to do, because that's a little deeper situation than what I handle, right?
Right.
Sometimes people say they think they're being abused, um, but the definitions of abuse, which right off the top of my head, I don't have the
Oh yeah.
definitions right, but it's deeper than just this feeling today that you don't like the way he's talking to you, but emotional and mental abuse is real. It is
Mhm.
definitely real,
Right.
but you need somebody who is more skilled and trained in a different way than I am to deal with that. I don't deal with that at all.
Right. But at the same token, you do need somebody to help you through that, because sometimes you don't know, what to do. Again, you don't know if this is temporary, if this is seasonal, if this something just happened one time. So you do still need to talk to somebody, talk that situation out, be honest. I tell everybody, when you go to therapy, when you get a coach, when you go to counseling, whatever, be honest, because a lot of times I know I be talking about my friends on here, but they don't know what I'm talking about. One friend was talking about they went to cancel, and I was like, and we was like, "Well, what happened? Da, 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 da," and they didn't even tell the whole story. I was like, why you leave that part out? Like, wow, it's kind of embarrassed. But no, that's why you go to get help. That's your
Right.
safe space. And they can't
Yes.
really help you fully if they don't know the full story. So you
Right.
leave those important pieces out. And so, do your research. Figure out if this person is safe. See if you can talk to, I don't know if you can talk to other clients, but there's a way that you can do the research. Now, I can speak. Robin is a cool chick. Robin wants you to get to your happily ever after. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
you got to have somebody who knows this person and can speak for that person. So you do have to be careful, but there is help available.
Yes, it definitely is. Now, I'll tell you, when people come to me, when I get on a call before I get on a call with people, I have them see my previous videos, other things I've done, other
Mhm.
clients, testimonials and that. And when I get on a call with them, I ask them, "Why did you choose me?"
Mhm.
I want to know that you know why you came to me.
Mhm.
You came to me because something about me told you that I am the person to help you. I don't want you to just get on here now and you're feeling around with 10 people and now we're wasting both of our times, right?
Right.
So when you come to me, I want you to know that it's me that you intended to come to,
Right.
right? Because you believe that I can help you. And then after I talk with you and see what your situation is, if I can't help you, I will let you know. I
Right.
mean, I'm not going to say that I can help you when I can't, right? Because then what is that doing for either of us?
Right.
Um, and if I can, I definitely want to. I am just so invested in the growth of our communities and the healing of our communities.
Right.
That is my calling. I know that is my purpose for being here. And so, you know, I'm totally in it. In it to win it, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I'm here. And
Yes.
so, I'm not just here to play. I want people to really benefit from what I do and what we do together. So
Right. Awesome. Listen.
the thing that I must say about coaching and therapy and counseling are different in this one general way, is that counseling and therapy, they want to look back and see what happened in the past and what all got you to this point, and that coaching, you're here, and we might take a glance back every now and then, but generally the point is to get you from here to where you're trying to go. We going forward. We're
Right.
not looking back. We're not going to be stuck in the past. We're moving forward. Everything is a forward uh, movement
movement.
as opposed to therapy and counseling, which are looking backwards.
Right, absolutely. Good point. I'm glad you brought that up. And even and I heard your heart where you're talking about healing the community, and making a difference. And so, how important, especially when there is children in the marriage,
Mhm.
how important is it for that healing to take place so that we now touch generations?
That is the thing, Allie. The ripple effects. I'm serious. The ripple effects of what we do today, right? The things that we see today didn't just start today, they started generations ago. And your grandmother and mine, they knew how to do things in one way. And so they did it that way. And they passed it down to, your great grandmother. And so she passed it to your grandmother. And your grandmother knew one way, but maybe she knew a little something different. So she passed that down to your mother. Now your mother passed that down to you. Some of the things that we're experiencing now are, generational curses, things that didn't get changed. And so they're passed down generation to generation. And we have
Yeah.
to stop that. All of this, single parenthood, single parent homes, and all of that, absent parents, and all of this, even if for whatever reasons. I know there are many reasons, and I'm not trying to, you know, look down on anybody because I was a single parent myself. Okay, so I'm not looking down on anybody. But what I'm
Right,
saying is, we don't want to perpetuate that. We don't want it to keep going. Somewhere it's got to stop.
right,
And
right.
so, but if I don't know any better, and so I teach you that that's the behavior that I model for you, then that's what you're going to do when you get to whatever age. And then you didn't know any better, so that's the behavior that you model for your kids, and it keeps going. Somewhere we have to stop it. We have to model different behavior, and we are role models for the generations that come behind us, whether we want to be or not, because
Mhm.
it don't matter if you say, do as I say, not as I do. Nobody's listening to that. They're
Right.
doing what they see you doing, because apparently it must be okay, because that's why you're doing it.
Come on.
So if you can do it, why are you telling me not to do it? So I'm
Yeah.
going to do it too. And so we keep the things going, and it has to stop somewhere.
Right. And
So I want to educate. I want to educate people so that they can pass down a better way to
yes,
the next generations.
listen, because you mentioned scripture earlier, and the Bible does say that the older women are supposed to teach the younger women. But let's make sure we're teaching them well. Let's make
Right.
sure we're teaching them to respect themselves and to love themselves first. Even like I said, we always talk about what's love got to do with it. It's got a lot to do with it, but it begins with the love that you have for yourself.
Yes.
And so that's what we want to pass down because, and we've mentioned it several times on the show. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. And you probably are because you don't know how to love yourself.
But a lot of times we're loving our neighbor better than we love ourselves. We're our own worst critic. And
Yep.
we talk to ourselves and do things to ourselves we would never do to somebody else. You would never look at somebody and say something to them like, oh, you're so stupid. And oh, you're fat, or whatever kind of things people say to themselves. They do it.
Right.
And you look in the mirror and you say these things to yourself, and you internalize them, and you believe them, and without being, all, psychological and that, that the point of your ego is to make the things that you believe your reality.
Hmm.
So if you keep telling yourself that you're stupid and you're fat and lazy and blah blah blah, all of this, then the
Yep.
ego is working hard to bring you evidence that that is the truth. And
Yep.
so that's what you will keep seeing. That's what will keep showing up for you in all kinds of situations. That's what will show up for you because that's what you believe. I can go somewhere with you and we can experience the very same thing, and it will be different for you than it is for me because what I believe internally is different than what you believe.
Right. Right.
And so it's really about what each of us believes individually. And loving ourselves is so much about, the things you would do, the way you would love somebody else, being honest and kind and having empathy, right?
Right. Right.
Giving yourself some grace and some space to fail and to start again, forgiveness and all of those things. You have to give them to yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we don't.
Right.
Nurturing your spiritual self, your emotional self, physical and mental, all of those parts need love and nurturing. You need to be poured into so that your cup can be full and then you give from your overflow. And if you're trying to serve other people, which is what we're called to do, serve other people, if you're trying to serve them from what's in your cup, you're depleting yourself. So you've got to have boundaries and know when enough is enough. You got to know when to say no, regardless of who it is. It might be a husband that you have to say no to, maybe your family member, your mother, your kids, but even still your boss, whoever it is. But in all of those different relationships, you've got to have boundaries and you have to have self-awareness, or you won't even realize that you're doing these things, that you're letting these people run over you.
Right.
um, Really, they're not running over you. You're allowing yourself to be depleted.
You're allowing yourself to, even though you set boundaries, to kind of keep pushing them out a little bit instead of keeping them plate. No, no, no is no.
Right.
Today
You
is
have
my
to
day.
enforce them.
Right. And
Yeah.
again, like you said before, it happens subtly because you're like, oh, just this one time, I'll give up my day to do it. But you have to keep it in check because if you don't keep those boundaries, nobody else is going to keep them.
That's right. It's up to you. They are your responsibility. If you
Yeah.
let one become two and two becomes five and now it's 2 weeks, like you did that.
Hmm. Ooh, listen, Alan, we're gonna go to commercial real quick. So, Robin, we're gonna go to this commercial again. We're gonna highlight a couple of small business owners. But listen, y'all stay tuned because we got some more questions for Robin White, who is your happily ever after marriage coach. So y'all stay tuned because we'll be back with some more good stuff. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Listen, did y'all see them chocolate covered cherries and them chocolate covered pretzels and Oreos and stuff? Oh my lord!
They
Every
look
time I see, I be like,
delicious.
I just have to just turn my head. I be like, I'm gonna wait till the music stop because I be like, ooh, let me go call her again. Listen, so that is Cookies Treats for the Sweet. That is Sharon Lynette Wilson. I might have her name backwards. Y'all know it was on the card, but listen, I'm gonna tag her in this video. So listen, I'm gonna make sure I put tag her email and her phone number in the video. Y'all know it's Valentine's, but listen, you might be your Valentine. Get yourself some chocolate covered cherry with strawberries and
Yeah.
stuff. So, that's what I keep saying in this season. It's still Valentine for everybody, whether you got a boo thing or you don't. It's still happy Valentine's to you. Show yourself some love. So, if you
Yes.
need to order some chocolate covered strawberries, bring them to the house, put on your favorite music, put on a candle, do what you need to do because that's what I'm gonna
That's right. I love it.
do. So we are here. We're talking to Robin White. She is your happily ever after marriage coach. She is an author. She is a speaker. If you need her to come to an event and speak to your women's group or something like that, if you want to talk to her about her books. I know the first book she wrote was Smoke and Mirrors, right?
Yes.
So tell
It's
us
a
a little
little
bit about
spicy.
that. Tell us a little bit about that so we can hear before we go.
Well, Allie, I am living my happily ever after now, right? But I wasn't always. And so back in 2006, I was 10 years into my relationship with my now husband. And something was off, right? And I couldn't tell exactly what it was. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew something was off. And so I asked him, are we okay? And he was like, you think too much. You need to stop thinking.
Right.
But that I know that when my intuition is telling me something, I need to address it. Right. And so that didn't answer the question for me. And so, it wasn't long before I did get the answer to my question, which one day he went out to the store and he left his computer on the bed and his email was open. And so I looked at it and there was an email from a dating site on there, right? And I just, I mean, it knocked the wind out of me. My my mind was spinning, and I had all kinds of ideas of what the heck was going on, and why would he be on this, dating site and whatever. And so I, being, a little investigative girl that I am, I catfished him. And so I don't know if you've never seen this show, Catfish, with
Yes, honey.
the guy. Um, and so people get online and you're behind the internet. It's anonymous, so nobody
Mhm.
really knows who you are. And so I made a fake profile and I connected with him on this dating site, and I was there asking him questions because I thought that maybe he would talk to this anonymous girl and he would tell her what the problems were in
Mm.
our relationship. I have to give him I have to give him credit because he did say that I'm living with my son's mother, and what I mean, he told the truth about that. So I'm gonna give him credit for that, even though he shouldn't have been on the thing. But he did say that, and I was hoping that maybe he was going to tell her what the problems were since he wasn't talking to me. He wasn't telling me. So, anyway, so that's how I got to the book because, once I found this and I went through that, then, all kinds of crazy stuff happened. And the more I talked to my friends and coworkers and family and, tried to get help because, I mean, he's cheating. He's on my, as far as I'm concerned, that's cheating. Whether
Right.
you actually engage yourself in some physical act, you're cheating when you're doing that. Okay. And so uh, wild things happened as a result of it. And so eventually I end up writing the book. So the book is really about that situation that I caught him cheating, and what all went from there, and how I kind of did a downward spiral into some crazy sex mess that was out of my character, which that's just not me. And that's when I knew that I had really hit rock bottom,
Mhm.
and I needed to. do something else. So that's when I mean, I'm at the end of my rope. What am I going to do? I cried out to God, which is what I should have done from the beginning, but that's okay because He was there for me, whether it's beginning or the end,
Right.
and He got me right. And He showed me what I needed to do to get myself together and to get our relationship together. And that is how I end up here today where I am. Not because I read it in a book, but because I actually went through the
Right.
experience of infidelity and betrayal and these same feelings, frustrated and resentful, and all of these different things that these women are feeling. I understand them because I have walked that path already, and so I can show them the way, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm here, to show them a way to get through that. But the book, you got to make it readable. It's got to be, add a little spice to it. So it's not necessary. I'm going to say it's loosely based on what happened in my situation, because there's some spicy mess in there that I'm not doing
We
that.
like a little spicy over here. Listen, where we get that book at? Is it on
It
Amazon?
is on Amazon, absolutely. But I wrote it under my pen name, which is Katima Whitehall.
Okay.
Katima Whitehall is my pen name. So it's called Smoke and Mirrors: The Secret Life of a Cheater.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, I'm gonna get that book right there. See what this
I
spiciness
think
is
you'll
about.
like it.
We might need to start a little book club, y'all. Who's gonna read the
Oh
book
my
with me?
gosh.
Y'all come on and give me little icons at the bottom of the comments. Say you gonna read the book with me. We'll talk about it. We have Robin back and be like, "We read the book, Robin."
Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, really, what the heck? We're all adults. I think that, a lot of people read the book was oh my, Shades of Gray, or whatever it's called.
Oh, 50
50
Shades of
Shades of
Grey.
Gray. Right.
Yeah,
So okay, it was around that same time when I wrote this. So you know how that book is racy like that. So
yeah.
it's got some of
Okay.
its own shades of whatever colors.
Ah, must be over 18 to read the book now.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh, I love it. I love it. So see that, but I wanted to bring that up because a lot of times people think, well, they don't know what I've been through. They don't know how I feel about this. But that's why Robin is so good at what she does because, like she said, she's felt those emotions. She's walked through those moments. She's, been through so many of those, situations. So that's why she's so passionate about what she does.
Yes.
And you can get to your happily ever after.
Yes, you
So,
can. Yes, you can. Oh, you absolutely can. I mean, I just want people to realize that it's not a fairy tale. You can have it. Millions of people are living happily ever after because they understand that happiness, I know, once again, it sounds cliche, but happiness is an inside job, and it's up to
mhm,
you to choose happiness and to understand what you need and want to be happy, and then go get it.
that's it. That's it. Listen. All right, Robin, stay with us. We have one more business we want to highlight. And again, I try to do things decent and in order. So definitely that was Cookies Treats for the Sweet. And the owner's name, I know her, but sometimes I just get the last names mixed up. But it's Sharon Wilson Lenny instead of, I think I said Lenny Wilson, but it's Wilson Lenny. So you can find her. She's got a page on Facebook. But Cookies Treats for the Sweet is also on Facebook and on Instagram, baby. I'm telling you. I'm just gonna
Get
warn
those
you before you start
strawberries.
looking at it. You're gonna have to have some. But Alan, we're gonna play this last commercial, and we'll be right back with more Robin White.
seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me in love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way when you cannot see. Man with this system he cannot pray. I need to find relief. But behind my mind it runs all these thoughts I've got.
So listen, you got to follow this baby on Instagram, TikTok. That is Anissa Norman. The name of her business is Scentaholics Creations. She has candles. She's ventured into soaps. She does incense, different flavors. We actually did an interview with her February 4th. So if you want to go back and check out her interview, you saw the little pretty flakes at the top of her candles. It's like herbs and different things that she uses in there. She does sea moss, because sea moss has so many different vitamins and minerals for our body. She actually does sea moss. And listen, I only like to highlight people that I know are doing the right thing. She's done her research, and you'll hear her talk about it in the video. You got to have the right consistency of the oils and different things. You got to wash your sea moss and stuff. So I've had some of the sea moss gel. I've had her candles. So again, it's Valentine's. While you eating your cups, chocolate covered strawberries, get your little candle. I'm trying to make you have a happy Valentine. So, and I definitely want to also shout out Marie's Home LLC. I have a I have a massage voucher coming. So, listen, the voucher is typically $65, but until February 14th, she's selling them for $50 as a Valentine's Day special. If you have to buy them by the 14th, but you have until June to actually use the coupon. So go ahead and get your discount. Maybe your anniversary or something is down the road. Go ahead and get this massage voucher at a discount. And then I want to shout out Crown by Corey, because y'all know when I come on here, my hair is did. Corey did Corey did it. If I was in a ponytail, I did it here at the house. So if you know you got a date, you need to get your hair did, reach out to Crown by Corey. He is in Statesville and he is magical. But today we are ending about the end of our conversation with Miss Robin White. Listen, if your marriage is, maybe a little shaky, you don't really know what to do to get the fire back, you don't really know, you're not feeling as confident as you used to as a woman in your marriage, as the wife, then Miss Robin White is the lady you need to reach out to, because she's about putting the fire back into your marriage and getting to your happily ever after. So, Robin, you are muted in case you didn't realize. Alan, can you unmute her? You might have to touch your screen, Robin, to see the mic. But Alan, can you unmute Robin? I'm gonna keep talking about her till she get unmuted. But she is again your happy ever after marriage coach. She is an author, a speaker, definitely a dynamic coach. She has us, people like I said, not even married. We'd be like, oh, I might want to try this because I know if I get in trouble, Robin will be in my corner. Um, Let me see. So, Robin, if you touch your mouse, do you see where the mic and the camera are at the bottom of the screen? And it says mute by the mic.
There it is.
Sometimes this stuff be doing stuff. I was talking the other day and they was like,
Oh my God.
I was like, what?
So elementary and yet not, right?
Thank you. Because it's different in different platforms and different places.
Right.
But I
Oh my God.
definitely, one thing I want to talk about before we go, we got about 5 minutes, but how important is it before you get married to have these conversations, to talk about whether we want to have children? Is it okay to ask for, you maybe don't have to show me your bank account because we ain't married yet. You don't got to give me the numbers, but to talk about where we are financially and where we're going to live. You a mama's girl, a daddy's girl, a mama's boy. How important is it to talk about these things before you get married?
It is definitely important to do that. I mean, you can't be scared to talk to your person. You're getting ready to tie yourself, unite yourself with that person for life. For
Right,
life. You can't be scared to ask them, uh, do you want to have kids? Or, shoot, what is your credit score? I mean, I'm about to be tied to you. If your credit is, you know, 400 and mine is 8, we need, not that that's necessarily going to disqualify you, or I'm going to say that's a deal breaker. We're not going to get married, but I need to know that. I
right.
need to know this kind of thing. And I know this isn't what you just asked me, but I'm going to say it anyway.
That's cool.
So many times people are scared to talk to the people that they are involved with. And, it's even like you'll give your body to this person, but you're scared to tell them that they need to get tested first. You're scared to tell them
Mhm.
they need to, you know, use a condom or something. How
Yeah.
are you scared to, if you're scared to say that, why are you giving them everything you got? You know what I mean? I mean,
Amen.
you're giving them your most precious self, and you can't even say that to them. There's a there's an issue right
Nature.
there.
Hmm.
And so, you can't be scared to talk to people. If you feel scared to talk to them about things like that, then you need to step back. Y'all need to step back. And maybe you're not ready yet
Right,
to get married. You definitely have to discuss these things. You have to know what you're getting into, because you don't want to find out once you're married, that this is the situation, because I mean, then you're in it.
right.
So I am definitely a proponent of premarital coaching and postmarital coaching within the first year.
Hmm.
Within the first year of marriage, the most changes take place. And like, it's your first time living together with a person, unless you have lived with them before, but for the majority, it's their first time living together. And people say you never know a person until you live with them. That is real. And
Amen.
so there's so many changes, because now when you get mad, at them or whatever, you're angry, frustrated, you can't go home. You are home. You're not going anywhere. You
Right,
need to stay and
right,
figure out how to deal with it, how to work through it, so that you both come out whole.
right,
And so, things come up all the time. You don't know the situations that are going to come up, but whatever they are, you have to stay and deal with them. That's the difference. You got to stay. You can't run. You
right.
can't run. And so I know, back in the day, that used to be my strategy. I'm not gonna lie about it. I was like, man, I don't have to stay here. I can go. And so I would.
Right.
But that's that wasn't the best strategy. Okay. Because I knew I didn't want to go anywhere. I wanted to be there. I just wanted it to be different. But I didn't know how to make it be different. And so it wasn't going to get different on its own.
Right.
And so I would be like, okay, forget it, then I'm leaving. And, that's not the way. You have to, there is a way. There's a way. There's a strategy. And sometimes it is that your partner is doing something that you disagree with, but when you do, you have to know how to make them understand what you're feeling and why that brings up whatever feelings it does from you. And still, they get to choose whether they're going to do something different or not. And you get to choose what you're going to do about it if they do something different or don't. So, in everything, everything.
Right.
You have a choice.
Absolutely.
You always have a choice.
You always have a choice. All right. Listen, thank you so much, Robin, for coming with to us again. Again, this is Black History Month. This is a Black woman influencing or empowering Black women to live their best lives, especially in their marriage, to be able to get the fire back, to get their confidence back, maybe even get a little sexy back.
Yes, yes. Get all of that back.
And so that's all the more they go forward, it's helping their heart, the stress is being relieved, the unknown, fear of the unknown gives you a lot of pressure. And so
Yes, ma'am.
it's helping your heart when you release these things that maybe you didn't know you didn't have another place to release it to, but now you found somebody who you can talk to. Listen, and then you love that happily ever after. Listen, that's what I'm after for every one of you that's listening today. You're happily ever after, whatever that looks like for you. But make
That's
sure
right.
that you have chosen yourself, you're loving yourself, you're giving yourself your best, and you are resting from the outside world when you need to. Listen, because you're important. We need you because you're here for a purpose too and on purpose. And so, Robin, any last words before we go? Make sure you tell them how they can follow you, how they can reach you if they want to talk to you more about your services.
Oh, well, I will say you can reach me at Robin White at yourhappilyeverafter.us. Okay. Or my phone number is 301-646-8425. And you can also reach me on Facebook at Robin D. White. Um, I do one-on-one coaching, or I have a Wedded Bliss program that is a
Mhm.
6-month program. And a lot of times people want to know more about what's in my program. So I have a webinar coming out at the end of this month. I'm excited for it because it's going to talk about all about what the program is out. And really, it focuses on the one person that you can change, which is you, and using my marriage framework, which is Jesus Christ as the foundation of your marriage, and then self awareness as the ground floor, and trust, respect, intimacy, communication, and teamwork are the pillars that we work on. And we develop skills and strategies to combat and overcome the power struggles, shut down and shut out anger and resentment, limited and lack mindset, and this strong black woman dehumanization that I talked about. And when you resolve those problems, you get a stronger relationship with Jesus Christ. You identify your true desires, eliminate those limiting beliefs that you have, step into your power,
Okay.
and get a greater connection with your spouse, which leads to increased intimacy, honor, and respect, and appreciation, and of course, serving from a place of love. So I'm excited about the webinar because it will tell you all about that program. And I'm just excited for the opportunity to meet new women, married women, women that are looking to get married, whatever, and to talk with them and work with them and learn about them, and for them to be able to work together with me to bring them to that happily ever after that they dreamed of when they said I do.
Oh, awesome. Listen, make sure you're going to tell when the webinar is again. Look, I
It's
mean,
gonna be it's coming
boasting
out at
in
the end of
myself.
this month.
What'd you say?
I don't know the exact date, but for
Okay.
sure I will post it on my Facebook feed, just my regular feed. I'm Robin D. White on Facebook, and you can find me there, or you can find me at Happily Ever After with Coach Robin White. It's a private Facebook group, but if you look for it in the search bar, you can find it. And you just answer a couple of questions, and then I can let you on in.
Nice. I like that. See, you don't have to do this by yourself anymore.
No, absolutely not.
Awesome. Well, make sure you give me the flyer so I can
Yes.
announce it when the webinar comes. And y'all married people, don't be hating on me if y'all see my face in there. Because I want to be prepared when the time comes. But thank
Yes.
you again, Robin. We appreciate you. You know, you are family. You know, you jump on anytime. If you have an event, something coming up, you want to come on and talk about it, come on home, girl.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, and I would love to come back.
All right. Well, listen, you guys know we are making connections. We're here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. You know, we've added, JT's with us every fourth Monday. Now we've added the restaurant reviews. So that's every Saturday, every fourth Saturday of the month. Edgar Tutre Trejo will be here with the restaurant reviews. Actually, the show is tomorrow. We kind of switched it up for Valentine's Day for the month of February, so he's going to be on not tomorrow but Monday, talking about three more restaurants, maybe somewhere different you want to take your boo that they've never been before. So get ready for that show, and just reach out to us. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. You can, if you miss a show, you can always go to the page, catch the replay, go like the page, follow, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. Like our YouTube page because you can also see the previous shows there as well. If you're interested in being on a show or you have a guest you'd like to suggest, go to calendly.com/ making connections TV and sign them up and we'll reach out to them and go from there. So thank you again, Robin. We love you. We hope you have a happy Valentine's with your
Thank
mister. And as always, enjoy yourselves. Get ready for your Valentine's. We got lots of products and things you can get to enjoy and make yourself happy and have a happy Valentine's, whether you are in a relationship or not. And so until next time, as always, we here at Making Connections are leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day. And thank you, Eric. I meant to mention you earlier. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye, everybody. Let
Bye.
love lead you.